What's up, guys? It's PK back with the high notes, and this is the first drop of Gemini season. It is May 22nd. So happy birthday to all of the Geminis out there. Hope you guys have a wonderful season. And let's get straight into this fragrance because I have thoughts. So this is one of the first fragrances that I have quite a few mixed feelings about. And that is Vain and Naïve by Nishane. So the reason I say that I have mixed feelings about this fragrance is because when I first got it a little over a year ago, I pretty much hated it. When I first sprayed it, I got the most screechy, woody aroma from this, right alongside of what smelled like straight alcohol. So this is when I was new to macerating. I had to quickly remember, hey, spray this out 6, 7 times, maybe 8. Let this sit in the dark, and we'll see what it is later. Because what is this? Like, what's in this bottle? Now, to assist you guys in going on this journey with me, as far as the development process goes, let's get into the notes of the fragrance to paint a better picture. So the top notes of this fragrance are orange and bergamot, heart notes of rose, jasmine, cedarwood, plum, and raspberry, and base notes of sandalwood, amber, patchouli, tonka bean, and musk. Okay, so boom, I've come back after the magical period of 6 weeks after I'm letting this macerate, and it's starting to smell better. I'm starting to smell the fruits more, the orange, the bergamot, the plum, and the raspberry, but only ever so slightly. The woods in this fragrance, still hollering like they don't have any sense whatsoever. Okay, y'all, so starting from the top, I get the bergamot and the orange notes for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. I don't know what's going on there. I've seen that sometimes top notes can evaporate that quickly, but I usually get the top notes for most fragrances for considerably longer. I don't know if the bergamot and the orange had someplace to be. I don't know if they had a plane to catch, but they were over it. As soon as it hits your skin, they're like, okay, we've showed face, we're out of here. So big issue for me there. So after that very short zing from the bergamot and the orange, and going straight into the middle, uh, this is where things start happening by like ways of doing too much, but at the same time not doing them enough. The plum and the raspberry, in general, plum and raspberry are my favorite fruit notes, or among my favorites. They're top 10, if not top 5, and neither one of them are being done in the way that I need them to be done to make this wearable for me. I'm gonna tell you why. The cedar note in this fragrance is so obnoxious and overly mature and heady that it completely muddles what I wanted from those two fruits, the plum and the raspberry. I wanted the raspberry to be ripe and juicy. I wanted the plum to be its normal, regal, dark and still juicy nature. What I ended up getting from this fragrance, to my nose, do y'all remember when SpongeBob and Patrick went over to Sandy's house and made a deal they won't breathe water? It gives exactly that. It gives like the fruits want water, but they're not getting it. Uh, it it's a mess. Why did I do that? But no apologies. That is exactly what the fruits are giving in this fragrance, and I do not enjoy it. Now, the jasmine and the rose here do add a dewiness to the fragrance, very slight, that I do enjoy. But this cedar is putting on such a circus act that even still, everything is competing with this cedar, and everybody is losing. Everything is accenting this cedar, and I don't know. It's now the base notes that stick out to me here are the sandalwood and the patchouli. And I can definitely start by saying that I love a good sandalwood. I like one that's smooth, maybe a tad creamy. You can hand that here. But I don't think that we needed another dose of a woody note in this fragrance. I think the cedarwood was enough, at least to my nose. As far as the patchouli goes, it is well done. I can say that it's smooth-ish as far as patchouli goes. Um, but it does add a bit of rough and tumble to this fragrance, and kind of adds to the headiness of the cedar wood. I don't know, man. Like this was not what I thought it was gonna be, and this was a blind buy. So let that be a lesson to anybody that sees a bunch of notes that they think they'd be interested in and just goes ahead and buys the whole fragrance without sampling it first. This is a good reason not to do that. Now, far be it for me to just completely rag on the perfumer's overall vision. I just don't think the vision is for me. Now, the times that I have worn this, I've still gotten compliments. And the wearing experience isn't so great for me, but people smelling it on me, they like it. I don't know. I don't know. The wood, I can say, as someone who is not a big fan of wood, makes this fragrance more appropriate for formal occasions. I can see this like a work event or a wedding or church. May or may not be derogatory on the church, but there is definitely a time and place for this that if I think this fragrance easily fits into. Sorry about this lighting again, guys. Like, I don't know why it keeps trying to change on me, and I'm still trying to figure this camera out. So, thanks for bearing with me. But as far as um, performance goes on this fragrance, it's really decent. Very decent, actually. Far as longevity, easily 6 hours on skin. Projection, little story time. I wore this to a dispensary. I walked in. There's just one other person that's checking out. Three of the workers are already talking about how good the air is smelling all of a sudden. But they couldn't pinpoint it was me. The projection on this is actually pretty wide. To be an Ecrit de Parfum, projection is usually closer to the skin. This was really grabbing some noses. And then sillage is also pretty consistent here as well. Um, so this fragrance is absolutely no slouch. This is some quality stuff. It's a shame that I'm just not the biggest fan of the profile. So if a woody, slightly heavy on the slightly fruity fragrance is your vibe, Vain and Naive by Nishane might be it. As far as a character or two that I can see rocking this, it makes me think of Captain Kirikou from Bleach. Because of he's just a more mature, he's an older guy, that still has a little bit of that youthful zest down in him. Um, I can also see Oliver from Full Metal Alchemist, Oliver Armstrong, the military woman, because of how much of a presence this fragrance has and how suitable it is for formal occasions. I feel like that she could rock this as well. Lastly, I think it's worth noting that given how minimal the fruits are here, if you are someone out there that likes the traditional masculine, heavy on the quotes, type of fragrance, I think this could be a welcomed different take on what you're used to wearing without deviating too much for the experience to be jarring and making you uncomfortable. And that is all I have on Vain and Naive by Nishane. As always, like the video if you enjoyed my musings. Subscribe as I do fragrance reviews every Friday. And comment down below what type of character you think will rock this fragrance. And also, Geminis, tap in. This is your season. Just make yourself known. Until next time. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.